Hello there.
I am the king!
What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back. Sunday Night Live. We are breaking down The Empire Strikes Back. We've come to what is my favorite movie of the Star Wars saga. Spoiler alert, I already gave my score, 10 out of 10. This movie is just the best movie there is in Star Wars. If everything could be even 3/4 of what this movie is, would be all right. But yeah, so I want to bring on my guest. We're going to break this thing down here for the next hour or so. And then don't forget, after The Last of Us, we will be back with Raven Reviews for the fourth episode of The Last of Us. So let's bring on my co-host. You know him. His name is Ryan Milkey. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, everybody?
How's it going? How's it going? We had a little Lego Live yesterday.
Yes, we did. Look, I can lift it without breaking it. It's still on the back of the dump truck.
We have the Mini Slave 1 on the back of the dump truck.
And then, yeah, it's probably going to fall if I do this, but if I turn this.
And now you got to rebuild it.
No, do you know, it literally fell, and the only thing that fell off was one piece.
It's not bad. So he's going to be all right in a star flight battle, or what am I thinking of? Space battle. He'll be all right in a space battle.
There you go. It's fixed again.
There you go. Cool.
No, it was a really good live. I had a really good time. It was fantastic. I actually built some cool stuff.
Yeah, I was able to finally get my Star Destroyer last night, so that was cool. So if you haven't taken a look at that yet, I did drop a short, and it's also on Instagram as well. If you want to see the finished product, you can do that. All right, so let's start breaking this thing down here. What is up, Anthony? How you doing? Slackers, we are early. Not early, you know.
Yeah, I know I'm early. It's like literally my birthday right now, so I'm going to spend the whole 24 hours. Thank you, Headless.
Yes, let's get some cakes and some presents and some.
Yeah, I'm not a slacker. I'm enjoying the whole 24 hours of my day.
Yes, that's right. Because in England or UK, right?
In the UK, it's 6 minutes past midnight right now.
It is 12:06 a.m. right now. So it is.
And I will be again in 24 hours to break down the next movie, and I'll end my birthday by going live.
Yep. So we'll be doing 3 lives on your birthday.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks, Anthony. No, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
No better way than celebrating it with Headless, hanging out, breaking down some Star Wars. So let's do this.
Let's do it. All right. So, so last week we kicked off with A New Hope, which is, the thing that started it all. And again, another just fantastic movie. And, it's almost like I wouldn't have thought after seeing that they could have done better. And then obviously, we get The Empire Strikes Back, which is a lot darker. There's still some good stuff in it, but there's so much emotion in this one, and I think that's really what does it. We get to see Luke Skywalker struggle quite a bit actually in this movie. In the first one, he kind of shows up. He's like, "Hey, let me get this X-wing right here, and I'll pull that big base up for you." And in this one, we see a ton of struggles, and then there's Charles with a bunch of cake emojis. What's up, Charles?
What's up, Poppin'?
So we get what I think is one of probably the best opening scenes of any movie of all time. We get the little, we get to meet our Tauntauns. What do you think about the Tauntaun? And does it still hold up today? I know the animation's a little bit wonky still, but what do you think?
Tauntaun, aren't they the walking creatures?
The little walking, like the little
on Hearth.
Yes,
they're amazing. I like them. I have later come to know that they were actual, they weren't real. Obviously, there's no such thing as those animals. I've come to later know that it was really cool. Just watching the motion of their face and stuff. Even watching it during the movie, you can kind of tell if you look closely. And yeah, I just love it. I love that kind of stuff. Stuff that brings difference into the world, and they use their imagination and creativity. And yeah, I think it was cool.
Yeah, and like I said, the as far as the movement and that kind of stuff, it is a little wonky still, and even in the updated special edition, it's still a little bit like that. But it's awesome because how they made it. That's the thing you always got to remember when you watch these older movies, a lot of people are like, oh, does it still hold up? This and that, the green screen, it looks fake, blah, blah, blah. But you still got to think back to we're talking 1980, 1980 it is. And, just what they were able to do. And then, then obviously we get the AT-ATs. You can see in the picture behind us here. I mean, those things were just amazing. When you saw those on screen and just to know that they're only yay big, and they're just the way they're filmed and make them look so huge compared to everything else.
And destructive, and yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just crazy, But man, oh man, this movie, I don't even know where to start. There's so much. So we start off with Han and Luke. They're trying to figure out, they get notification that there's a Imperial probe, and the Empire sends these creatures to different planets and stuff to kind of scan them and look for different life forms. And basically, after the last movie, we got Darth, who's basically trying to look for Skywalker, and he's trying to find, where the Rebel base is. So the Imperial droid comes down, and they send out Han and Chewie after him, and they ended up killing that thing. And Luke is out there too, and as everyone's coming back to the base, where's Luke? Where's Luke? He's C-3PO. Where is he? R2? Where is he? No one knows where Luke is.
I had very bad memory issues through this film because I did not remember this being very start of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I must have connected the three original together in my mind because I assumed that this scene was a lot further into the story than what it was.
Yeah,
but no, it was pretty much straight up. I was like, oh wow, okay.
And then we get the old Wampa, the big furry mean guy, and
comes out of nowhere.
But the Tauntaun smelled them. That was always pretty cool. And Luke's like, oh, what do you smell? Something for your stomach or something? He says like that. And and then he
turns around and it's
Now here's a little tidbit. I don't know if you knew this. So the reason why George Lucas started this off like this was because he was able to have Luke in a with the goggles on and with a scarf, so his face was hidden. Because what had happened before filming is he got in an accident, and this is why later in the movie you see the scar, by using the Wampa hitting him off the tauntaun, that gave the impression that scar was real, and that's why he liked this. Yeah.
I also read that George Lucas solely put things on Hoth to challenge his production team.
What do you mean?
Like he wanted to put things on the island of Hoth to challenge his production team to come up with more creative things. Because it's a very different island and planet compared to some stuff that we usually see in this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, really, we see this one is basically a frozen planet, and we don't really get to see it again until Force Awakens when we have Ilum, which is where the kyber crystals are all found, and they end up making a Starkiller base out of. Which is still strange to me that they made a planet. That's basically what Starkiller base is. It's a planet, planet killer. But yeah, so I always found that really interesting that's what they decided to do because he already had the scar. So, and we finally get to see Luke use the Force, which is fantastic. He drops the lightsaber in the snow. We hear that he's coming.
Yeah, hanging upside down, and he reaches for it.
Yep, and you can tell he's just. He's using. You could tell he's been practicing, but he's still not very good at it. But eventually,
he can't do it at first choice. He has to go into a REM state and go, and then he can grab it. It's like okay.
And we finally get to see him whack that Wampa's arm off because they love cutting off arms and hands in Star Wars.
It's such a janky scene. It's such a janky scene, and when he grabs it, and then it just like instant cut. Even I think. We're YouTubers and we edit videos. We could probably make it in this day and age look a little bit smoother than it did.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it's just like a giant arm. They probably had it coming at them. They probably someone's on the other end holding it and they're just dropping it. That's why you really don't see much.
Yeah, no, it's a great scene.
But yeah, so he leaves the Wampa cave, and he is just at this point exhausted. It's freezing outside, and we get to see old Obi-Wan show up in a vision. Again, back then, I mean, that was awesome. Like, oh, yes, Alec Guinness is still in it, even though he died. And they don't give a huge explanation of what it is and all that. But yeah, I mean, so we get to see Alec Guinness again, and he's basically telling Luke that he needs to go train and he needs to go find Yoda. It's the first time we hear Yoda's name. And
has to go to Dagobah.
He sends him over to Dagobah, the Dagobah system. Yeah. So we get all that, and then Han and Chewie get back from the Imperial droid, and we basically are trying to find Luke at this point. So they send out a recovery team in X-wings, or no, not X-wings, and the snow speeders, which is personally like one of my favorite vehicles in Star Wars, the snow speeder.
Okay.
What do you think?
And we have a cool scene with the lieutenant of the base or something is talking with Leia and Han, and they basically confirm that they have to close the doors. That he's not going to make it back, and they have to close the doors. It's getting too cold, and we get one of the most haunting noises from Chewie you ever hear. Mm-hmm. It just makes that cry as if to say, it's like Han, It's like it's amazing. But who's going to pay me next movie? Because with there is no Chewie without Han, so yeah, it was just a great scene, and he walking through the snow and he collapses, and we think, oh, what's going to happen? And he, like you said, he's talking to Ben. He finds Ben Kenobi in the snow. He's telling him that he needs to get up and he needs to go to Dagobah. Was it Ben telling him he needs to go to Dagobah?
Ben, yeah, when he sees Ben's ghost. Mm-hmm. He tells him that he should be going to Dagobah system to meet Yoda to get trained. So,
yeah.
And then that kind of leads us into the rescue. They come down and rescue Luke. They find him. Han finds him. Oh, and we do forget, this is the one time that Han Solo actually does get to handle a lightsaber.
I noticed.
As he slices the guts of the Tauntaun, which is so gross looking when you really think about it. It's pretty gross.
It's just like how it was very similar to how the zombies had kind of opened up in Last of
Yeah,
Us.
you're right. In The Last of Us, you're right. When they kind of cut them to see what's inside, it looks like that fungus. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was always
There's a-
that was always pretty gross that he stuffs his buddy in the guts and stuff. But
Would
hey,
you have rather have that than died though? I
yeah,
suppose.
got to keep warm, right?
And I bet it was really warm inside there.
Gross. Oh my gosh. So they end up saving him, obviously, and then we head back to Echo Base, and we see him in a Bacta tank. That's kind of the first time we get to see the Bacta, and now it's almost like every series has a Bacta tank. Rogue One ended up having one. We saw one, and in Book of Boba we've seen it. So
Yeah, we got one of those fantastic scenes with the starship or the whatever cruiser it was. It was going across the ice plains, and you can clearly tell that wasn't doing this scene that we were seeing. But it was just amazing.
Yeah. So Luke is kind of resting up, healing up. We get a great line. From Princess Leia. She calls, Han Solo a scruffy, nerve hurting. I can't remember the whole thing, and then Chewie's laughing, and he goes, "Laugh it up, Buzzball." Fantastic.
Questions, Headless. What is your favorite planet from Anthony Blaze?
Favorite planet, favorite planet, like in all Star Wars, or just in this movie? I'm assuming
I'm guessing he's asking. Well, I'm gonna answer from all of them, and it's Mustafar for me.
Mustafar, you like the lava, huh?
Yeah, and that's why I like Hoth, because it's a complete direct opposite to Mustafar. You have ice and fire,
Yep.
Game of Thrones.
Yep. I mean, let's put it this way: if I had to pick a planet to live on, I'd probably pick Naboo. Naboo is pretty darn nice. I like the water. Naboo. That's in the Phantom Menace, and that's where Anakin takes Padme, and the flowers.
If I had to choose an island to live on, it would be Coruscant, because I'm a massive city guy.
The busy city, okay.
Yeah, I would live in the city, but yeah, my favorite place is Mustafar. Hoth is badass. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I had to live somewhere, it definitely would be Naboo. But like my favorite planet is probably between Hoth and, as much as I don't want to go into the prequels or the sequels, I mean, I do think Crate is pretty cool. It's just unfortunate that we don't get to see much of it. We only get to see a little bit. There's not much there. But I think it's cool, the idea of a huge salt planet. It was a kind of a neat idea.
Why, you stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
There you go. Yep.
That's what she calls him. It's a great response to Han's pig-headed bravado and has become a pop culture mainstay.
Yep.
There's even a band called Nerf Herders.
Baby Ice is wishing
Thank you, Baby Ice.
Happy birthday.
What was Vader's planet? That
Mustafar.
was Mustafar, yeah.
Mustafar. That's where he built his
Vader's castle.
His castle, right? And then moving forward, we get the amazing battle with the AT-ATs and the snow speeders. I mean, I still think it's probably the best battle in Star Wars. And it's not even in space, which is even crazier. But I love everything about it. Again, Luke is the one flying, and his wingman or not his wingman, but his co-pilot, if we want to call him, Dax. He ends up getting put out of commission. And again, Luke can't even fly that thing. He gets blasted down. So again, it just shows the second time already in this movie that he's already somewhat to the point failed. Like, he almost got taken out by a Wampa, and now he just got his buddy killed. I mean, not that he got him killed, but you know what I'm saying. And then his plane comes down, but he gets retribution because it's in like one of the most iconic scenes is when he takes his grappling hook and shoots it up and opens up the bottom of the AT-AT.
Yeah.
And throws a grenade or whatever in there and takes that one out. And you're like, oh, I remember being in the theater and just like everyone's like, yeah, let's go. it was really cool.
I wish I could have seen the originals in the theater. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I've never done. I've never seen them in the theaters.
Yeah, I've seen every movie except for a new. I mean, I might have saw A New Hope, but man, I was like 2.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if my dad did or not, but yeah, I remember in '80 going to see that when I was like 4. I remember my dad taking me. That's honestly, dude, like that's like one of my that's probably my earliest memory I actually remember is going to see that movie. So I just remember seeing all those huge adults on the screen and just being in awe,
Mm-hmm. Two Boys and Their Scary Pop says, "Give me Best Bin, a city with a view."
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. But again, remember it's a gas planet, though. They're mining gas, and I don't know.
Yeah,
but it is a good view.
No, I like I say, I like Mustafar because it's just really cool, and I like the lava idea. And yeah, if I was to live anywhere, it would be Coruscant.
Yeah, Coruscant would be pretty cool. Like cities. The Naboo is just cool because it looks like it's always warm in waterfalls.
Oh yeah, Naboo looks really cool. Thank you, Eric.
Plus, I always have the opportunity to find Jar Jar and I can kill him. So that'd be cool too.
Oh, you're just gonna dig yourself in a hole.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we'll just kind of talk through the rest of this. I mean, we're not going to break down every single scene. We'll be here forever.
Yeah, that's what we do on a Sunday, Monday, guys. We just hang out for an hour. We talk about the movie that we just watched, and we break it down. And yeah, we don't go into super detail with slideshows and scene by scene. We just talk about it. We just have a good time and hang out and answer any questions that you guys might have and interact with the chat. So yeah, I do apologize. I haven't got an Instagram post up today. I literally woke up 20 minutes before we were supposed to go live. I crashed, so I don't have any questions or anything. But if there's anybody in the chat that has any, then they can let us know. And I'm sure I'll have a couple.
Yeah, shoot us some questions. So let's see. Let's do this. Do you think that? What do you think would be your top 3 scenes in this movie? What do you think? From the beginning to the end.
Oh God!
If you kind of hard, I know I just put you on the spot.
Bear with me. Bear with me.
Well, here I'll start it off. We'll do number 3, number 2, then number 1. We'll go back and forth.
Okay.
So number 3 for me is when they're on Dagobah, and he already has found Yoda after Yoda's little silly game he played, which I love, and they are training, and then he goes into the cave. And again, just another example of him just failing a test, just another failure on his part, where he goes in and Yoda's like, weapons, you will not need them. And he looks at Yoda, he's like, yeah, screw you, bro. I'm taking my saber and my gun in there. And he goes in there, and what ends up happening is we see what happens. He ends up facing himself, and he's losing. He's losing the battle against himself because he isn't all in at this point. I think that's kind of what it means. He's not all in on the Force. He still doesn't trust it or trust. I don't know if I think he trusts Yoda, but he just doesn't trust himself. I think that's what it's showing, and that's why when he is actually battling what he thinks is Vader, he ends up saying it's really just himself, and it's just another act of being failing.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge turning point in that scene. I'm trying to go off memory here, and I think that's before the X-wing fighter. I'm not sure if it's before or after.
I'm not 100% sure.
I think that takes place before the X-wing, before when he sees Yoda lift it, because I don't think the X-wing's out of the swamp yet. But yeah, for me, I feel like that's such a good scene, and it's a really important scene to the entire trilogy.
Mm-hmm. So I would probably go with. I don't know if he's in a Bacta tank, but what is the golf-shaped black thing that Vader sits in? Is it a Bacta tank?
Oh, you mean the thing that comes...
The black golf ball thing that kind of separates.
Yeah, no, I think that's more like his... Is that... No, because his helmet is off on that. So it's not a back.
And it comes down and connects to him.
Yeah,
that's my favorite scene. That's the one I'm talking about. How the helmet comes down.
Yeah, I think that's more of like a breathing chamber, because I think he's able to take his helmet off. I'm not. You know, I really don't know.
Because that's a Funko Pop as well. That's actually a Funko.
It is a Funko. You're right, and that is going to be a question for the AI, because now I'm not even sure.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna put that in.
I guess it was a good question then.
Good question. Yeah, I'm not.
I just think it's epic how it opens up, and obviously, there's one thing that you don't want to do in Star Wars world, and that is be hired by Vader to be the new Chancellor or whatever it is.
The new like general or whatever.
Yeah, the new general, because I think he goes through 6 in this episode.
I think
it's so funny.
It seems like 6.
Yeah, it's probably not 6, but it feels like it. But yeah, that my third favorite scene would be when the golf ball opens up and we see Vader inside, and he's not all healed and not all perfect.
I'm actually doing a quick search on it.
Absolutely no worries. I am literally flicking through the movie now just to remind myself. And yeah, the whole Dagobah stuff isn't the best for me. So
according to Wikipedia, it is a meditation chamber.
Okay.
So it's a meditation chamber.
Okay. Meditation chamber.
Try to see if it says anything. During the Vader selected date doesn't. Yeah, that's basically what it is a meditation chamber. So, I mean, there's a lot more information here. I'm not going to sit here and read all this. If anything, it'll be a decent video, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is, though. I'm just trying to see if they say anything about his helmet coming off. General Veers informed him that Admiral Azel had emerged from Lightspeed 2 close to Hoth, alerting the Alliance's Echo base. But they don't really say much about the helmet off. Huh, it's interesting. Yep, but that's, so the simple answer is the meditation chamber.
Okay, so yeah, whenever you see Vader in the meditation chamber,
yeah,
that's one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
It's cool. All right, number 2. Number 2 for me is got to be the Battle of Hoth, because again, I think it's the best, good versus evil battle there is in Star Wars. Although, I mean, Return of the Jedi is fantastic the way they do it, because there's almost 3 different phases going on. But I really like the way this is done, and just in knowing how they filmed it. I love the snow speeders. I love the AT-ATs, obviously. But yeah, so that I think that whole battle, again, and again, you see Luke fail, but he kind of does redeem himself a little bit at the end there, because he does end up taking down a walker all by himself for the most part. But yeah, so I think the Battle of the Hoth for me is probably the second best scene.
Okay, second best scenes for me. Yoda. Just the introduction of Yoda to this is, you got to remember, this was the first movie out where we see him, because he's not in A New Hope, right?
Correct.
He's not in it, yeah.
He's not even anything he's mentioned.
You don't even think he's what?
He's not even mentioned it in A New Hope.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we see him, and this is the first time that we understand about his backward speech. I think I paused on one of the scenes there. Look at me, judge me by my size, you do. Because he's Luke's sitting there in Dagobah complaining and whinging that this is impossible. How are you expecting me to lift this ship out of the water that's crashed into it? It's just impossible. Yeah. And he's like, underestimate me, you do. And he walks away, and the next minute Yoda just decides, oh, screw it, I'll do it myself. And he just lifts it out of the water.
Yeah, it's such a good scene. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Dagobah scenes, just because it just looks so weird. And it's I don't understand why they went with the whole, he was clinged to his back and he went through the whole training thing. It was crazy.
Well, I think they do that just so, because I think, again, first of all, it was a puppet. So they had a couple for him to kind of follow him. But I think just all the knowledge and all the everything he tells him during the entire montage scenes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to do front flips and back flips, and you're scratching the hell out of my back. Get off me.
Yeah. Actually, we were just talking about this backstage. Yeah, they actually dated. I think it was during Empire Strikes Back. They dated, and that
I was literally listening to a part of this exact point where Eric's letting us know that Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher partied with the Rolling Stones. So they were drunk filming the Cloud City scenes because the Rolling Stones had turned up on set, and they turned up earlier than supposed to. So I know that Carrie Fisher phoned or got a hold of Harrison Ford and said, "Yo, they're here on set. What are you doing?" And they turned up and they got drunk. And it was claimed that they were hungover in the scenes for Cloud City, but she later confirmed that they hadn't even slept, so they were still drunk. Because to be hungover, you've got to sleep and wake up. So yeah, but yeah, no, funny, very, very funny.
Yeah.
That they had so much fun, and just looking at them so young now, and obviously, rest in peace for a lot of them.
What's funny is I watched the movie this morning, and I mean, he's just Han Solo is so Heroes and Word is so young, and then we watched a couple episodes of the new show he's in, Shrinking on Apple TV. Man, it's so funny. Like 50 years will do to you. I mean, it's crazy,
Oh yeah.
But it's funny. His humor is the same, and just looks different. Looks older with all his gray hair.
What kind of stuff are we going to be talking about in 50 years? It's 2023 now. So in 50 years' time, when Headless and Milky are doing YouTube lives on Sunday Mondays,
yes,
what are we going to look like?
Headless will be 96 years old. Now let's talk about Empire Strikes Back.
I'm still trying to find the final piece to the Star Destroyer.
Oh my god.
Dead Zone Citizen.
What's going on, man? All right, so my favorite scene now we'll do.
Oh, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. And I could literally do a top 10 on this, but I think my favorite scene has got to be when the fight is very good between Luke and Vader, but I think it's that iconic scene. Just when Luke is walking up those stairs that are like, lit bright orange, and just the silhouettes. And then when both her lightsabers come out, you're just like, yeah, let's go. It's that's to me is just like that. Like whenever I think Star Wars, that's the scene I think of. Like, that's exactly what I think of right there. Boom. The silhouettes with the two lightsabers. So I love it so much. I probably rewound it like 4 times, just watching Luke slowly walk up those stairs, and then
I like it. I'm not going to be as predictable. Like not that was predictable.
Yeah,
but it's very obvious. My favorite scene from this whole Star Wars movie is C-3PO on Chewie's back. The entire monologue that happens between those two in that scene, like it's just amazing. Yeah. And he's telling him to turn around, you dummy, there's Star Troopers behind you. And he's so good. He's just, his legs up here.
Yeah, I love the Cloud City scenes, though. I mean, they're all good. I mean, like I said, it's hard to pick a top 3 scenes. It is, because you could literally rattle off every part of this movie. I mean, the part with the monster and the
the worm out of the ground, out of the moon.
And and then we didn't even mention Boba Fett at all, and he steals every scene he's in. He steals, and he literally 3 lines.
I want to give props to, I think it was Boba Fett the series, because this is the first time that I've watched this movie since watching Boba and the Rancor and those pig guys. They did it. It's like they just took them straight out of that movie and put them in Boba.
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, Boba looks a little different with the stuff, because I know he's got like more of that skirt, like Tatooine style armor, but his everything else is the same basically.
But yeah, no, the pig men that they have guarding them, and they have the Rancor. I thought all that was amazing, and didn't feel like it felt like an old movie, even though we've just seen in Boba the same characters.
Yeah. Remember though, Rancor is in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, my bad.
But I mean, you're fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, and Anthony, you're right. The snow troopers, the ones with like the longer like mass that protects their neck and stuff in the cold. Those are some of my favorite troopers. Like I would
and I
say,
probably will match up scenes, guys, because I literally watched Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi back to back today.
that's gonna be. You know what, dude? I might do a video on that this week. I know I have an unboxing video for tomorrow, but I might do one. I'm gonna rank my 10 favorite stormtroopers. I think that'd be a kind of a fun little video.
More than 10?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, like you got
They were just the same people with different suits to suit the planet.
yeah. I mean, but you have like the Death Troopers, you have the Snow Troopers, or maybe what I'll do is the 10 best.
You know, Dark Troopers.
Dark Trooper. I mean, I can maybe the top 10 Imperial like I don't know what you call them, because like you have the TIE the TIE fighter pilots.
Yeah.
Like
No,
all of those guys. I'll have to think of. I have to see what the generic name of it is. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So let's. This is the next thing I was actually about to dive into, because it's funny. Neither one of us said this scene, and again, it's just hard. So let's talk about the carbon freezing. The
origins of why they did it, though.
Why the origins of they did it as in,
why Lucas even put him in carbonite in this movie.
Like the reason in the movie the movie canon.
Well, just like
are you talking like as far as the movie plot goes?
No, in the sense of Han Solo, as in the guy who plays him, Harrison Ford. So Harrison Ford approached Lucas during the filming of this one and said to him that he probably wasn't going to be in the third one.
Yeah.
So they asked him to freeze him or kill him in this movie. He wanted to be killed in this movie, but they refused to, so he put him in carbonite. But thankfully we got him back for the third one. But yeah, it was once he was put in the carbonite, Lucas didn't really know whether he was going to bring him out of it. He assumed that would be it,
Yeah. Han always wanted, or Harrison Ford always wanted Han to not make it through the whole trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. He's correct. His hands are tied behind him when he goes in, and then his hands are like that in the carbonite.
Oh, never noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there. Unless, again, if you want to make up something, maybe the carbonite undid the rope or something. Maybe I don't know how carbonite works. So, but maybe somehow it melted the rope or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So one of your most iconic scenes in this show, I think it's everybody's iconic scene, right?
For what?
For Han Solo and carbonite.
Oh yeah, and then just the whole conversation between him and Leia, before he actually goes to happen and stuff, and like the whole "I love you, I know" part, and it's just, and again, just another tidbit if nobody knew, but that wasn't even in the script. That was something that Harrison Ford just said, and then Lucas loved it, and he kept it in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to say "I love you too," and he ended up saying "I know," and then George asked him why he said that, and he's like, because Han Solo wouldn't say "I love you too." So they ended up keeping it in the film.
Interesting.
Yep.
And I genuinely didn't even notice the carbonite error with the filming with the hands. So
yeah.
That's why we do these live streams, because I appreciate it that people bring these things up and let me know. They make the movies better for me in a way.
Yeah, and actually, if you look at the picture of him carbonated in Empire versus when he's up on the wall in Jabba's palace, those aren't the same. I don't know if there's a theory on that. I mean, I guess maybe over time. I don't know. Like if you're frozen, like why would it change what's on the outside? But yeah, I mean, if you freeze both scenes and look at them both, it's not the same the way they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, I don't know. I mean, unless there's a big thing on carbonite freezing and explains all this. But
and let me throw it to chat as well. If you guys are listening, let us know your 3 favorite scenes if you want to rank them in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, even if you want to just do your favorite scene or your least favorite, let us know.
Yeah,
they are fantastic movies.
Yeah, least favorite is tough because there's not one part of this movie where I'm like, oh, I have to sit through this now. Like, you know, sometimes in movies you're like, oh, okay, the next like 5 minutes or something, I can like go to the bathrooms, I don't care. But in this movie, like there's none of that. And I know you said you get kind of bored or whatever with the Dagobah stuff. But I mean, at least you see him training. Like I
think it was a conversation that I had with you because you planted that seed in my head because you said to me, isn't it funny how Dagobah seems to take 2 to 3 weeks, but the whole events with Cloud City seems to take an hour or 2?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be matching in time. And it's like, you actually got a very good point. It does, even though they're supposed to kind of be the same time structure, it does feel like he's dragging it out on Dagobah.
Yeah, it is a little strange because, you know, when they both basically leave at the same time, and Luke goes right to Dagobah, and Han is trying to get away from the Imperials, and he goes into the cave. I mean, I guess I assume they're in the cave for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't seem like they're overnight or something like that, but it does seem like Luke is on Dagobah for a while. You know,
it does,
or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Because again, because I know you talked about this. I said that I got the impression like the movie was supposed to take place over several weeks, but it seems like when you look at the Han Solo and Leia part of the story, it ends up being like 2 or 3 days max. You know, because it's their part is just, you know, they're jumping from place to place, but you never get the idea that they've been there for a week or something like that. You know, it's been a couple hours here and there. I don't know, chat. What do you guys think about that? About how the time frame that Luke is actually on Dagobah, if you think about the Han and Leia part of the story. I'll let you guys think about that for a second. I'll read this. So we have the fight scene, the carbonite scene, and then Chewie saving C-3PO, and then the Wonka attack for third. Yeah, and those, yep.
Carbonite scene, Chewie,
So actually, let's see. The fight scene I used, you used this one, and then the Wampa attack we didn't use the top 3, but we talked about that pretty lengthy. You know, that little scene earlier in the stream. So, I don't know what else. How about I want to talk about? I mean, again, we could break down the whole movie, but I mean, I think at this point everyone's seen.
You want to talk about Lando?
Yeah, we can talk. I was going to say we can talk about Lando, and I like to talk a little bit more about those bounty hunters too.
Yeah.
So let's talk
Lando is one of my favorite characters in this movie. It's probably why I don't like Solo. Because this Lando is amazing. Instantly, from the minute we meet him, I didn't trust him. I assumed something wasn't up. It just felt weird. And even Leia says it just doesn't feel right, you know, all the way through it. And it is kind of a cliffhanger. Like, they kind of throw it on you all of a sudden. He stood at the door, and the next minute he goes, I made a trade with the Empire. Then now I'm never going to come back here. And Vader's just sat there like, what the frick? You're pretty crazy. How did they know to go to Cloud City? That's what I wanted to ask you. How did the Empire know to go to Cloud City just before they got there?
Oh, well, no. Oh, you mean because they right, because they do arrive there earlier. So I don't know. You know, here's the thing that happens. So basically, they're looking for some place to go get the repairs for the Falcon, and this is right before that they're being attacked by those Imperial Star Destroyers, and this is when they kind of float away in the garbage, and Boba Fett is seen following them. This is like right after the bounty hunter scene when Vader's talking to him. I'm trying to find a picture of that. Yeah,
they're hiding, so they're running away from the Star Destroyers and they're getting hit. And he says, "Right, look, listen, run at them." So they go round and over the cave, over the cloud. One of them are great scenes with the Falcon, and then one of the most genius moves ever was to just hide on the back of the ship. Like, How do the tracking things not find it if it's on the ship? It must have a beacon that's just out of it that ranges out.
Well, they must have known something though, because what they did though, they did tag it because I think that's how they knew that's where they were going. Now, how do they beat them there? I don't know. I mean, I know Boba tracked them, but you're right though. It is kind of strange that he's like, oh, they arrived right before you did. Well, if they're tracking them, how did they know where they were going?
And they time warped that way, and he went that way. So it was like, which way is it?
Yeah.
You know? And then, yeah, I didn't even realize. I noticed at the end, like, I was trying to pause it to look through the rubble scene in the space. I can't see the Slave One ship until it sparks up and starts flying off. I was like, oh, there's Boba. He's following him. Boba Fett tracked him.
I'm looking up right now. How does the Empire beat Han to Cloud City?
Because Han gets there, and the Emperor's already there. The Empire's already there. The Falcon's hyperdrive was damaged, so moved slower.
Especially if they're being tracked. So,
because if you're tracking him, then you're behind him. You're following where he's going. You're not predicting where he's going, unless they could tell with the navigation system that that's where they were planning to go. But the Cloud City is fantastic. It's one of the most amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Scenes and graphical things that they put in there. And so, is this the same place where the clones came from? The aliens.
Oh. Wait, you said the clones?
Yeah, is this the same place where the clones came from?
No. The clones were in Camino.
But is that not part of the Space City?
Mm-mm. Camino's a different planet.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny if it's so funny, like when you ask these questions, how did Boba? Oh, here's another one. The Force.net. See, it's funny. It's not on Wikipedia at all. At least it's not popping up.
Another one for the AI.
So they're saying, didn't someone in the chat say that though? I think so. I think I saw somebody in the chat say that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of what they're saying too. But I still don't understand. Okay, so how did they know they were going to Cloud City? You know what I'm saying? Like they're sitting there thinking about where they were going to go, and they're on. This is when they're actually on the Star Destroyer. You know, they're on the back of it, and they're like, "Where should we go next?" And they're like, "Oh, the land. We can go see Lando." And then she goes, "Lando system?" She's like, "Lando's not a system; it's a man." But like, how would Boba Fett and the Empire would have known that's where they were headed? That's the question. I mean, it does make sense. Okay, yeah, because their hyperdrive is not working. But how does he? It still doesn't make sense. Like, if they're tracking him, how do they know that's where they're headed?
I mean, if you're tracking, you're following. You're not.
Yeah.
You know, you're either following or you're monitoring, and which is a bit confusing. I was a bit confused and strange about it. And Eric says in the chat, "What did the chair say to Ryan? Milky, I am your throne."
They can, they can find the nearest city. I mean, but again, remember Bespin is the name of the planet. How do they know they're going to Cloud City? Like, I'm assuming there's going to be more than one city on that huge planet. Yeah,
and I got confused with the whole Camino and Cloud City because they kind of go into the clouds to go to the city in Camino.
No, Camino's all water. That's ocean.
Oh, I thought it was all cloudy and it must have been just condensation. But yeah, you're correct. It's water.
Yeah, there's really nothing. Again, that's another question I'm going to ask. I'm going to see if the AI can pull because now that's a good question. It really is. Because everything I read is just basically, well, they locked in and they knew their coordinates and they beat them there. I'm like, okay.
I know this is not Star Wars related, but I it's literally on the top of my brain and I need to get it off. Did you see that Vagar was supposed to have horns and we didn't get them?
Wait, he was supposed to have horns?
She was, yeah.
Oh, she was? So where is this picture from?
This is from House of the Dragon.
Wait, put it back up.
Do you see it?
Not. It's hard to see. So you're saying you're saying she does or does not have horns?
No, she doesn't. She's supposed to.
Well, where's that picture
But
from then? Like, where's that picture from?
From Instagram.
Of who? Like, who posted it? Like, is this a random account or?
Good point.
I mean,
House of the Dragon memes.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. All right, I can't find a great picture of these bounty hunters for some reason. They all look like toys.
Are they in the movie?
The bounty hunters?
Yeah, whereabouts in the movie are they?
Oh no, I just pulled. I just got it.
Because I've got the movie open.
I got it, dude. I just found one. I kept finding like the Hasbro figures lined up as like the movie, but stupid ads. All right, so I got it right here. All right, so we'll talk. We're gonna give you a quiz. You ready for this quiz? We'll get you ready for the Kahoots.
Yeah. Right. Stay tuned, guys. Got to go through 3 more terrible Disney movies, and we'll get to the Kahoot.
All right, here we go.
And I want to confirm, I haven't seen the last 2 of the later trilogy.
You haven't seen what?
I haven't seen the last 2 of the later trilogy.
Oh, okay. So you never seen them?
I've seen the first one with Rey and Finn, and I haven't seen anything past that.
Oh, I had no idea. Well, then we're gonna have some good conversation.
All these.
All right, so
that's IG-11.
So can we see them all? Or is this stupid ad in the way I can't get rid of?
The ad's in the way, but it's cool. You can just about see them there.
It's horrible.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah. So we have Vader on the left, and I don't know who the rest are apart from.
So you know IG-11.
IG-11 and Boba, and that's it.
Do you know this guy right here?
I can't see your cursor.
Oh, let me go back to your screen. There we go, right here.
No, I don't know who that is.
He's a Funko Pop exclusive to New York Comic Con. That is Dengar. That's Dengar. Dengar. And then obviously we know Boba. You know this guy.
Fish Cat Collectibles.
Do you know this guy?
No, but I recognize the face.
He's the one who everyone wanted to see in Book of Boba. Because in lore, again, I don't know if you know if it's considered canon anymore, but him and Chrysanthemum are always were always fighting.
Okay, and Chrysanthemum was the dark-haired Wookiee, right?
Yep. So this is that's Bosch.
Bosch. Okay.
Oh, Bosch. I'd be honest with you, I cannot remember his name right now at the top of my head. Chad, if you guys know, who is this one? He's like
Fish Cat will know. Fish Cat's in here. He'll know.
Yeah. And then this is you probably don't know this guy in the end. It's funny. I had all these figures, dude. This is Lom.
Is that IG-11?
The one on the far left is.
Okay, yeah, because I only know that from whatever show he was in.
Oh,
Carrying the Child.
No, because that's a different character. That's not the same one. That's IG. Wait.
IG-11 is that one in that show, isn't it?
So then that's IG-88 then. If IG-11 is Mandalorian, that's IG-88. I still get them confused too.
I thought it was the same thing.
No, different characters. But IG-88 is technically still alive.
Okay. Because we also see another IG model in this movie when the dumpsters guys are throwing R2-D2's head around. We see another IG model just sat there broken down.
I don't think that's. I was under the impression he's still alive in canon.
Okay.
In Mandalorian. Now, when we get to the sequels, I don't know. But But this here right here, Forlom, this guy in the end. Again, I don't think it was ever confirmed or not, but I know in Kenobi, people had thought that he was in Kenobi, and he was either episode 1 or 2, but I don't know if it was ever actually confirmed or not.
Cool.
I mean, I could look it up, but I feel like every time I look something up, though, I feel like it slows down the stream. Yeah, Jeremy said that it's IG-88. So IG-11 is from Mando. But yeah.
So which one's this one? I'm going to bring it up now and show you. Which one? Who's this one?
Yeah, go ahead, man. I guess the one thing I was really disappointed in with those bounty hunters.
Who's this?
Never get any of it. What am I looking at? The Wookiee? Oh, this dude right here. I see.
No, this one here on the. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I just think it's another type of droid because I'm pretty sure it's not.
But it's an IG model, right?
Yeah, it's an IG model, but I don't know who it would be. Is that in Book of Boba? Was that Book of Boba you showed?
No. No, that was from the movie.
That was from what?
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
when they're chucking Diggy's head around.
Oh, yeah. So that's in the. Okay,
and Chewie's trying to collect the figures of C-3PO, trying to collect all the pieces.
Yeah, I think it's just showing that droid is not the only kind of droid like that, you know.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was canon or something that was going to come up later in the show, you know.
Yeah.
Dead Days lined up in the galaxy said good solo game. Baby Ice is singing happy birthday to me. Thank you, Baby Ice.
Yeah,
Star Wars is tough. I'm still learning stuff after all these years. It's such a plethora of information. Yep. Tell me about it.
Yeah, that was always one of the things I was a little disappointed in with Return of the Jedi is that they didn't bring any of those guys back, and then Boba obviously gets killed off in the first 20 minutes of the movie or whatever. But we don't get to see any of those are bounty hunters. Like they all look badass. I mean, Dengar looks a little different, but I know that we have gotten a little bit of information because dude, there's so much in Legends about the relationships between Boba and all those different bounty hunters. And I don't know, we just don't ever get anything in film, I mean, yeah, it's cool that we get IG-11 and Mando, but like, why? Why don't we just get IG-88? I mean, IG-11 was reprogrammed as well. He was reprogrammed because they really are like the strongest bounty hunters, according to Legends. But yeah, there you go.
In the animated Clone Wars series, there were multiple IG droids. Okay. Yeah, I do need to watch it. I actually downloaded seasons 1 to 7 yesterday, so I have them all. I have all of it.
There you go.
To watch at my own discretion. So I'm probably going to upload a couple of seasons to my mobile, to my phone, and then I've just got it. Easy access. Just click and watch.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, anything else that you can think of you want to talk about? We're about an hour in. We got to do our rankings still.
Let me just skip through the movie real quick. So yeah, we have the whole scene where Luke turns up.
Yeah, I just think there's so much. I mean, I can sit here and talk about this movie in 5 hours. I mean, like literally, it's just there's so much in this movie, and I think there's so much good like there's these questions that we've come up with, and there's so many other questions. Think about all the questions just having to do with Luke, and then eventually, and what about that line that Obi-Wan and Yoda talk about when Obi-Wan's begging Luke not to go, and it's like no, Luke, please, and he's like I'll be back, I promise.
I have to save Leia and Han. Yeah, he has to go.
And then Obi-Wan goes, that boy is our only hope. And then out of nowhere, Yoda's like, no, there is
another.
You're like,
there is another.
And like it never really gets paid off. Now, granted,
because the other's Grogu.
But talking about 1980, like okay, I was like thinking, okay, so maybe at the time you don't know, but after you watch,
he's referencing Leia.
Or we talk about Leia, but like they both know who Leia is. They both know Leia is Anakin's. But again, I don't know if George knew that or not. Like,
I don't think he knew that. I think he was referencing Leia in the storyline of the script, But I think through the growth of the entire franchise and Disney taking it and all this stuff, I genuinely believe that somewhere down the line, that exact line where Yoda says there is another will reference Grogu.
Yeah, and it would make sense. I mean,
It has to. It has to in my eyes.
They both know of Leia. It's not like they don't know of Leia.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, there's lines like that. I mean, that's gonna be my third question because I've been trying to ask. That's gonna be my third question.
I've already made him. I'm already working on a meme for myself from this movie because, as you all know, Headless is chasing me in subscribers. He's 20 something behind me. Has been catching me very, very quickly. And as soon as he passes me and goes over that threshold, we're going to release a meme, or I'm going to release a meme where it'll be Headless has passed Ryan in subscribers, and it'll be me going, no, you know. Luke, I am your father. No, just his facial expressions are so good in this movie. Luke, when he finds these things out, he's like so upset that he finds out he's his father. It's like, what?
Now here's another one. I got two more questions for you. I actually did a video about this like over a year ago, about a year ago. I did a video on this. Do you know? Okay, so Luke comes into Cloud City, right? And I'm not going to tell you the answer. We'll go through the answer tomorrow. I'll let people have a chance to go watch the video. I'll link it in the description. Actually, maybe throw it up in the chat too. I'll go find it while I'm talking. But
no, you go ahead. You keep talking, and I'll find it.
No, because I know where it is.
Right.
I know the name of it. As soon as this is going to start playing, probably.
So Luke enters Cloud City, yeah.
So he takes his X-wing and he comes to Cloud City with it, right? And then he leaves after he gets his hand chopped off. He leaves on the Millennium Falcon, but we get to see him again in the X-wing in Return of the Jedi when he flies back to Dagobah for his training after after Jabba and all that. So the question is, how does he get his X-wing back? Would he go back? How did he get it? Yeah.
Good point. So where is his X-wing? In Cloud City?
It's on Cloud City, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because he falls down the shaft and he's hanging on the antenna, and then he goes mind tricks to Leia, right?
That's correct.
Right. I'm glad that wasn't the other movie because I watched both of them. So, yeah, he mind tricks to Leia and he's like, Leia, save me, and he's hanging upside down with an antenna, which I don't know how it held him.
All right, so there's the video. It's only about 5 or 6 minutes long. It's probably not edited beautifully either because it was like 11 months ago I did that, but I did do that. So yeah.
He took an Uber, said Poppin.
He did take an Uber, probably.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good assumption. I have no idea how he went and got it. That's a very good question.
So everyone watch that video, and then
and Baby Ice asked the question in the chat. So, what is Ryan's birthday punishment? You Americans must be weird because birthdays are to celebrate, not to be punished. Like I'm literally eating dairy milk caramel nibbles for my chocolate treat.
Ryan's punishment is he's got to go live with me again in like 2.5 hours.
No, that's not a punishment. That's an honor, my friend.
Actually, here
my punishment is I've got to host PDX on the Horseman. That's my punishment.
PDX isn't even in the chat today either.
I know because we're not. He'll be here for The Last of Us, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then the other question I was going to throw out there was, so how does what happens? Well, how does Maz Kanata get Luke's lightsaber? Because that's the last time we see that one until Force Awakens. Until Rey.
Who's Maz Kanata?
In Force Awakens, the one that they go visit that Han knows on the jungle planet.
Oh, Maz Kanata is the weird creature with the massive goggle eyes that has Luke's lightsaber.
Yes. So how does she go about getting that? And I don't even know if we ever find out. Like I guess in a comic they did make mention of how it was found, but I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. So I'm just skipping through. So we should really for a couple of minutes touch on the entire Vader Luke scene. Like it is pretty important in this movie. Like we find out he is his father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it only took 2 movies from the end of the sequel trilogy to finding out Yeah,
two full movies basically.
two full movies to find out. What do you think to the line that's been diluted over the years, where it's Luke, I am your father, and he never says that?
Yeah, it's kind of stinks that people say it wrong. But
Yeah, because he goes, "No, I am your father."
And also, did you know that too? That that Mark Hamill did not know that's what he was going to say, and they wanted his instant reaction because the only person that knew that was what the line was going to be was George Lucas and James Earl Jones, and obviously James Earl Jones was probably doing voiceover work, but Mark Hamill did not know that that's what he was going to say. He thought he was going to say Obi-Wan was your father. That's what Mark Hamill thought he was going to say. So like if you really watch his reaction on film, it's kind of it's a little weird because he's like,
he gets so upset. His face gets upset before he does. It's amazing.
It is. Yep. Yeah.
She got it in an unclaimed property auction. I do have a question, but after the show. Okay, Anthony, no worries.
Unclaimed property auction.
Eric from Two Boys and Their Scary Pops goes, when you saw the movie Empire Strikes Back for the first time, what scene did you imagine yourself being in as a fan?
Like what scene would I be in? Is that what he's asking?
Yeah.
What scene did you imagine yourself most being in as a fan? Like if I were in the movie? I mean, if I would... probably in the Battle of Hoth.
I wouldn't mind being the chain round Leia's naked body.
That's Return of the Jedi.
Damn it. I don't know. Lando? Lando's pretty cool in this movie.
Let me read that again. Empire back for the first time. What scene did you imagine yourself most being in as a fan? Yeah, I mean, so what are you saying? Like being on Call City with Lando?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to me who this dude is? Sorry to take away from Eric's question. Who's this dude with the robotic thing on his head?
Oh, that's Lobot. His name's Lobot.
Okay. And what is he? Is he like an android?
I don't think so. I mean, I just think that, like, in Star Wars, like, they think of the dudes in think of the dudes in Boba. They get all that work done. They have mechanical some stuff, and I just think that's probably what that.
Okay, because they made a very poignant thing of sticking on him for quite a few scenes.
Yeah. I mean, he's like Lando's right hand man, more or less.
Cool.
Yeah. Again,
I'd be in Lando's squad, I think.
Okay. Cool. All right,
JB.
I like I said, I would want to be one of the pilots. I'd want to be one of the pilots in the ships. I want to go fight those walkers, man. Cool. I don't want to be the one in back of Luke Skywalker though, because I don't want to. I don't want to get smashed.
Let's bring up those scores, shall we?
Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and rank the movie. What would you give this out of 10 out of 10, or a 0 out of 10?
10.
10 out of 10. And I am the same.
But it's below. It's not number one. It's below. I know that's strange. It's 10 out of 10.
So it's kind of like It's kind of like 1A, 1B. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into the 9.9s and 9.8s.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it at a solid number, or in worst case, a half a number. Obviously, we're gonna have some ties on here, but it's where you see the ranking is you can kind of think of it that way. So I'm at a 10 out of 10 for both these movies, but I still give this one my 1A, and then Ryan is the same over here with Revenge. I believe I'll be a little bigger there. There you go.
Nothing will take Revenge off the top spot in my eyes.
Yeah, and at this point, Empire is my favorite, which I kind of said going into this live anyways. So yeah, that will be sitting there the entire time. So, yep. Kind of just take note of the rankings a little bit. You may need that information. Let's see. Where would you rank this movie among sequels from top franchises? So I'd say like
One of the best.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's probably my favorite movie of all time. So for me, it's just like there's no movie that I would pick to watch over Empire. If you gave me a choice, if you decide you're going to an island and you can take one movie with you for the rest of your life, I'm taking Empire Strikes Back. And it's really honestly, it's really not even close. Although I do have A New Hope is ranked a 10 out of 10. But still, this one is just above it to me. It's my favorite movie of all time. And, because this movie came out in 1980. So think about how many movies, and I see quite a few movies as well. And,
I physically couldn't give you my favorite movie of all time. I don't know what it is because there's not many good movies.
Yeah. I mean, New Hope is definitely up there somewhere in the top 10. Just throwing off the top of my head.
It's just a bit slow.
Like Infinity War is probably up there for me because I absolutely love that movie.
You like Infinity War?
I like Infinity War. I did not love Endgame. Infinity War is awesome.
Trainspotting, Eric. Oh, don't. I don't think that Headless has seen it, and that's one that I want to get him to watch.
Yeah, I have not watched it yet.
It's a very Scottish movie, and it's got Ewan McGregor in it. So yeah.
Yeah, I still want to watch the one Daniel Radcliffe you to tell me about.
You need to watch it. Yeah.
We don't watch movies as much as we used to because we have just so much TV on now.
Well, just get with Milky and say, Milky, do you want to watch a movie? You don't have to watch it with a wife.
I know. Like literally today I got to watch this, and then I freaking made 2 videos and a short. I knew I had 2 lives coming up, and it's just the day's gone before you know it. And I played about an hour of Legos Star Wars, and that's basically the day. So.
Yeah, I've seen A Fish Called Wonder, Eric.
But to kind of answer his question, I would say this is probably the best. I do like Two Towers much better than Fellowship, so that would be up there for me. I do like Wrath of or Search for Spock, which is number 2. I like that much more than the original Star Trek.
I've never even watched Star Trek.
I mean, I've seen them all at least once.
No, not for me.
I've never seen the Godfather movies, so I can't say anything about that. But I know Godfather 2 people love. I'm trying to think of the big ones.
Too Fast and Furious is better than Fast and Furious?
I don't think so. I like the original Fast and Furious better. And those movies just get more ridiculous.
They do, but that's the whole point. But yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to mind block right now for sequels.
I'm trying to think of other trilogies. What do you think about Back to the Future? Do you like 1 or 2?
Back to the Future is a perfect trilogy of movies. One is okay.
What'd you say?
One is okay. Yeah.
You like 2 better than 1?
No, which one?
So one is when he goes back to 55, and then Back to the Future 2 is when he actually goes to the future. Then he goes back to 55 again.
Which is the one with the flying train?
The flying train is the last one. That's when they go, wow.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Back to the Future 3. That's my favorite.
Okay. I think Back to the Future 2 is a more interesting movie to a point than 1, but I still like 1 better because I think it's a little funnier, and it just it's tough, man. 1 and 2, I mean, they're both really good movies. It's hard to you're nitpicking at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think what other big trilogy like Hunger Games. I still like the
Fantastic.
Original. Yeah, I still like the original better than the second one there. Avatar, I like the first one better, even though I did like the second one a lot. It just the first one is still better. God.
Gremlins.
I was just thinking of Gremlins. I do like the second one a lot. It's so funny. The second one's just funny. It's funnier. The first
Rocky,
one,
Eric. Ooh.
Yeah, I think the first one is better, but I think the second one is funnier. Yeah, Rocky 2. You're right. I do like Rocky 2 better than Rocky 1.
So I've never watched just one Rocky film. I have always took the time to sit and watch the entire anthology.
Oh yeah,
because I just have to. It's one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. Jaws. Is there a second Jaws?
Yeah, it sucks. Jaws 2 is probably the worst Jaws.
Okay. RoboCop, not for me, Anthony.
Yeah, original RoboCop's better.
So I had a question, which I'm going to bring up. I was just asked why this wasn't on the Raven reviews.
The reason why this is on Raven Reviews is because our regular Sunday live on my channel and then Ryan's regular live on Mondays are just going to be on just their channels, like our individual. And then anything we do other than our regular Sunday or regular Monday is going to be Raven Reviews. So like right now we are doing Last of Us. That will continue to the end of that series. And it's probably going to end up overlapping with Mando, I would think. Because we'll be on episode 4. So we're probably going to have like 4 lives that one week. I think Mando season 3 kicks off. And I think that following Sunday will be the last episode of Last of Us. So Raven Reviews is anything that we do together when we review a movie or a TV series that is not on Sunday or at 7 or Monday at 7. So that's why.
Correct. Yeah. So what we did was we planned out the Star Wars stuff. And then we came up with Raven Reviews. So we'd already had everything planned out. We'd already had everything done. And yeah, so going forward, I think The Mandalorian will be Raven Reviews. Because that'll be Wednesday nights. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so what we're going to do... so... Because both of our channels right now are a lot. Like we do collectibles, we do reviews, we do all that kind of stuff. We're not just specifically one thing. So what we did is we actually did create a new channel. And
we're going to drop the link in the chat for you guys.
Yeah, for specifically for Raven Reviews. So when we do our lives. The plan is eventually that it will be only on the Raven Reviews channel. Again, probably not for a while though.
When we do these kind of reviews, or we're talking about movies and TV shows,
right?
We'll be on the Raven Reviews.
Yeah,
eventually.
So I'm gonna try. Do you have the link or no?
I've got the link. Yeah, I've got the link to the latest Last of Us episode 2 video that I'm going to put in the chat.
Okay.
So, guys, please go over there and subscribe if you would like to. We would appreciate it. But please only go over there if you are actually interested in supporting and being part of the journey for the movies and the TV stuff. Like, if you're just into Funko, I genuinely don't see why you would need to if that's genuinely what you're into. And that's nothing against you as a person or anything like that. It's just if that's what you're into, and you're not, if you know you're not going to be a supportive follower, then yeah. In my eyes, what's the point in subscribing? I'm going through my subscribes list recently, and it's like if I've not watched somebody in 6 months, it's like why am I subscribed? You know. But we would absolutely love everybody to subscribe. Can we plan on doing Marvel movies in order? Oof, Marvel movies in order. Anthony, it's definitely something I want to do.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in that. That would definitely take a while. I mean, again, after Mando, we're gonna have to kind of wait and see if what else comes out. I'm assuming that Ahsoka is not going to be coming out till the fall. So I know we talked about doing Harry Potter, so I think that's kind of next up is Harry Potter for us. Now, granted, we could do Harry Potter on our channels, and we could do,
the Marvel Cinematic Cineverse on Raven Reviews.
Yeah, or like I said, we can kind of go back to like more, what's the word I'm looking for? More than just a regular movie.
Guys, there's the link in the chat. Please go click that link and go subscribe to Raven Reviews. We do have a channel. And Eric says Funkos were created from fandom franchises. No, I completely agree, Eric. I completely agree. But you've been here all night and you've been asking us questions.
Right, and that's why we're dropping on these kind of lives, because we're not talking about collectibles. So if you're in here, you probably like movies and TV as well. Instead of me dropping it like last night during our Lego Live. Like I feel like everyone that was in the Lego Live was either A, just awesome supporters, which we love, or B, because they like Legos and collectibles.
Oh, what? How's it my channel?
Yeah, I'm having a heck of a time. I'm gonna get it. I'm not finding the one I want.
It's not mine. I'm on Raven Reviews. I'm sharing the link to that video. Never mind. Okay.
Did you get it?
Yeah, the one I've put in there is the link for episode 2 of Last of Us.
Yeah, but you got to look and see, because remember, we streamed it in all 3 channels.
I'm on Raven Reviews. Oh.
All right. Oh, man.
Raven Reviews.
Where's my subs? Here we go.
Doesn't Ahsoka come out in March, like March 12th? Don't tell me that.
I don't think so. Ahsoka?
Mando comes out March the 1st, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought they'd have done Ahsoka 12 days after.
No, it doesn't. Ahsoka probably won't be out for the fall, maybe even more like November-ish.
Yeah, Mando comes out 1st of March, Eric. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony just subbed.
So did you find the actual link for the channel?
No, I dropped a video link. I dropped a link from the video on Raven Reviews.
Gotcha. Okay, there you go. There you go. There's the actual link. It's not really found right now on YouTube. Like when you type in Raven Reviews, it's hard to find it.
Because we're still building the channel.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out how we wanted to announce it, and that's why I kind of been thinking this whole live, because we kind of see who comes in for these Star Wars reviews, and it is kind of the same people. So
Similar crowd, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we kind of decided to do that.
We'll just know that you guys that are subbing right now are literally the core original people of the channel, and we're going to build it, and hopefully you guys can stick with us and stay around, and you'll always be that core group.
Yeah, I mean, and feel free to, when we do our Last of Us, we're going to be streaming it from all 3 channels. So, you can basically watch it from any one of us. But I mean, eventually we'll probably end up pushing that just to Raven Reviews. I think the key thing is when we both get to like 1,000 subs though, because I don't want to take away watch time and clicks from these 2 channels as well. We're kind of slowly doing it because we're not even at 500 yet, But,
yeah, we're building, and from my own personal statement, this doesn't connect to Ned, but if we're live doing Raven Review stuff, I would much rather you watched us on Raven Reviews than on mine. Either go to Headless or Raven Reviews. You don't have to watch on my channel if it's on 3 of us. It's cool that it's on there because I get the watch hours, but I would rather build up Raven Reviews.
True.
As much as I can.
True.
So if I've got 20 people on my account and 3 people watching our Raven Reviews, I would love to just flip that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
And remember, all the chat's linked. It's just I think when the chat's linked for us, I don't think it's linked for them though. Because I was watching Baby Ice and LJ a couple days ago, and I was on LJ's at one point, and
you were alone in the chat.
Right, and someone said Hojo was in there, and I'm like, wait, I don't even see him. And then I went over to Baby Ice, and I saw that Hojo was in Baby Ice's chat, but not in LJ. That's the one bad thing about it, is that it's good for us on StreamYard, but not when you're actually.
Yeah, there needs to be a generic area for chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've gone a lot longer than usual, guys. But we did announce the new channel, and yeah, we've had a lot of you talking with us in the chat tonight, which has been really, really cool.
Did you? Yeah. So tomorrow
don't forget we're back.
Yeah, we're back for Return of the Jedi and Brian's birthday bash, even though it's his birthday right now. And then, we'll be back after The Last of Us, and you can definitely check it out on Raven Reviews, and we'll be back for that at around, I think we made 10:05. The episode is only 50 minutes, so we wanted to start it up a little earlier.
And this week's episode, guys, is going to be good. I'm telling you now. They have stepped away from the whole side storyline with the story that we got last week, and we are going forward, full steam ahead with storyline Joel and Ellie. So this one is going to be very, very good.
Yeah, and that comes on in half an hour. So, all right.
My God.
Yeah, no, I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, okay, you're right. I have to get ready to watch this thing. All right. We appreciate everybody being here today. Yeah, we'll definitely see you guys later then. And we appreciate you subbing to Raven Reviews. So, all right, cool. All right, Ryan, my man, I appreciate you being here again, like usual. And oh yeah, real quick before you guys go, I did do something today. I forgot to do this earlier.
Let's make your big screen. He needs to go big screen for this. Did you buy this today?
I'll tell you the quick story.
That's the Hogwarts castle.
Yeah. All right.
How many pieces is that? Is that as big as the Death Star?
It's 6,020. So it's about 400 less. So
Ooh.
here's the quick story. So I've been looking since Hogwarts Legacy, and when I figured out I was going to buy that, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Well, this used to be like $399, right, on Lego, and then they after the new year they raised their prices on the Legos like about 20%. So now it's at $380, or I'm sorry, $480, and I'm like, with tax you're looking at like $500. I'm like, I can't do it. So I just would happen to be on Facebook today, and a guy who literally lives around the street. And I've seen him on he's in a couple actually other different like toy collectible, not just Funko, like just different collectibles in my city. And I saw it on there. He had it listed for $375. And I go,
I'll give you $3. I'll come pick it up right now.
I said, he said, he's like, you can come drop this off at my house if you go $350. So he agreed. So I got it for like $150 cheaper. So I'm like,
nice.
How do you not do it? Like, it's cheaper than what it was,
sealed.
Yeah, and I heard, it's sealed, and the box is actually really nice, and so
that's the next. Is that the next Lego thing? You told me last night you were going to buy something small that you can complete in one night.
I know.
And you go and buy fucking Hogwarts. Sorry, I shouldn't have swore. You go and buy Hogwarts.
I know.
We'll cut that out. My bad.
I couldn't pass it up, man. I'm like, when am I going to have the opportunity to buy it for that much cheaper?
My tiny little flimsy.
Yeah, no, I still might buy. I still might buy like a small X-wing that's like a couple hundred. I don't know. I always see those on Facebook too, but I don't know. For right now, I gotta take a chill. But I think it's gonna be a sweet build. With Hogwarts Legacy coming out now, and I just dropped another Harry Potter video, doing another quiz. And I finally got the one I wanted in the quiz. So,
well, cool. Headless, I want to thank you. I've just spent the first hour and a half of my 35th year on this planet, and it's great. We talked about Star Wars. We had a great time, and I can't wait to come back in half an hour and talk about it. But in the meantime, I want you to remember to keep those heads on, my friend.
Absolutely. You always got to do that. And then also don't forget to always stay milky. We'll see you guys.